All right, minor league films. We're back to talk the new Riri Williams Ironheart trailer. They've been hiding this for a while, but they decided to bring it back and actually show us something from this show has been supposed to come out. Got my man Scotty finally here to talk Riri Williams. Scotty, saw the trailer. Give me your first reactions to the trailer. They finally showed it to you. It leaked a little bit yesterday, came out full today. What do you think about it?
I'm really sad that they didn't market this film. I'm sorry, this show at all. They didn't mark this at all. So the trailer came out of nowhere. I was sleeping and my TikTok was flooded talking about new Ironheart, new Ironheart. I said, what? They still doing this show? I thought it was going to be canceled like the Blade show. You know how they canceled the black shows.
Yeah.
So I said so. But in the trailer, I do like how they're using the Iron Man Mark 41 armor, which is an armor that usually he was using in space in the comic books. It's a real big buff armor.
Yeah.
Obviously they've changed her story a little bit because the original story in the book was her she's just really smart, and
Yeah.
she had a couple little tragedy going on. Her father died in drive-by shooting. She was making the Iron Man suit as a challenge, which they did have that in Wakanda.
Yeah.
And then after that, the reason she became a superhero was because she was flying across the country and trying to learn her new suit's abilities and whatnot. And she came across some robbers and stopped the robbery. And she said, "Oh, I can do this." And Tony Stark then noticed her, took notice, and then that's how she started becoming Ironheart. It wasn't just random. Tony Stark took notice.
Yeah.
And then after he went in the coma, then she started becoming like a hero full time, and she used his personality as an AI. So it's pretty good. She has a pretty cool little comic book history. I know she gets a lot of hate because maybe some people don't find her interesting in the movies and whatnot. I think they made her very interesting in Wakanda Forever. Personality was shining. So, what do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, we've got her in one movie here. Obviously, Wakanda Forever. I did like her role in there. I thought when they obviously that they had a lot of drama in that movie, but the part where they go to see Riri Williams, it kind of picks up and gets a lot of fun. And you start to get that balance. So I do like it there. Introducing this show for what I like. It does look decent. It doesn't get me overly excited, but I'll paint the floor here. So basically. She's coming back from Wakanda. You kind of see in the trailer she's a little bored. She does go to MIT, so that part is still remains there. She goes there and she's obviously using the leftover budget. Now, if you remember in Avengers Age of Ultron, Tony Stark greenlit the budget for them to, test and try to go to the
Mhm.
future. So there's all this money hanging around. So she's trying to use that to buy the suit. If you see in the trailer, the guy says, "Hey, you can't just use us for our resources while you're trying to, go off on some pet project." But
Right.
you see here, she's trying to put the suit together. And it kind of goes from there. She's putting the suit together. Obviously, she runs into some financial trouble. Maybe in the show somewhere they cut her off or say, "Hey, you're not doing enough for us. We're not funding this pet project." And we get the introduction of the Hood, played by Anthony Ramos, who's one of my favorite actors. Obviously, he's clearly
Wow.
evil here in his first kind of introduction. You got him with the hood on. He's looking
Mhm.
crazy. So, but I do love this guy. I loved everything he's in. Thought he was great in Transformers and the other stuff I've seen him in. So definitely up and coming, one of my favorite actors that's newer onto the scene. But yeah, so obviously we set up our villain. We got Riri Williams as a character. I'm not completely sold on her yet, maybe as much as you were in Wakanda Forever, but I do
Mhm.
like her, and I'm hoping in this show, the Disney Plus shows haven't been great, but I'm hoping usually Disney Plus show does sell me on these characters, and that's what I'm hoping to get here.
I mean, the Hood himself never sells me anytime I see him, even in the books, because he's just a guy with a hood and fancy Door to Explorer boots on. So I don't know if they're going to go in depth with his actual story. I know his actual story was he was a small time criminal, real small time, like me or you would be if we did some stuff by ourselves, theft and stuff. And he
Yeah,
found these boots and a cape. And I think the cape and boots belong to Dormammu. Remember Dormammu from Doctor
yeah,
Strange? No, number one. So
yeah.
I'm thinking if they go with that, they're going to, instead of have those boots and cape be from Dormammu, maybe they'll be with another evil magical character. I'm hoping it's not Mephisto. I think that would be corny.
Mephisto.
They've been saying Mephisto coming in every show, but it could just be a way for Dormammu to come back. And honestly, they could have the boots and the cape, and have he can possess the hood because
Yeah,
that's
so
really where his abilities come from.
okay, so what do you know what abilities he usually has with that? I mean, it seems from what they're giving us, I say he runs a gang or he runs a mob, but we expect some powers to kind of come with it. Do you know what usually comes with his power level as far as having these boots and having this kind of demonic stuff?
It's low level magic stuff. So it's like
Okay.
magic birds, stuff like that, because those boots and cape, like I said, belong to Dormammu in the books. So
Yeah.
it kind of would allow Dormammu to possess him if he wanted to. That's where I think they could be going. It's either going to be Dormammu or Mephisto. Like one of them is going to come into the MCU based on this show. So it's like I said, it's low level stuff. Couple times he gained a little bit more magic, nowhere near on Doctor Strange's level or anything like that, or Doctor Doom's level, but this basically low level magic, and he was a small time criminal. And I believe he lasted a long time. I think he's still around actually.
Okay, so this is a small time level villain that a Riri Williams should be able to handle. Because I just always have to ask, because usually we get a lot of overpowered villains in the comics. You talk about like there's no way they should be able to wipe this person out, and one person does it when it should be an Avengers level threat here. So that
Right.
that is good to hear. Yeah, I like the show getting back to sort of the roots. I like it, definitely showing off Chicago, which we haven't really seen in the MCU. So we'll get there. I'm excited for Riri Williams to really ground this character, kind of ground this universe a bit. We did a little bit with Daredevil. We started to see a little bit of street level stuff, and I think it really worked for the tone of not only Daredevil but the MCU. I think starting to have a little bit more grounded reality, and some of them in the Disney Plus shows didn't quite hit as well, but I think they did give some low level reality. I'm hoping Riri Williams is someone where we've seen her on the big screen already. Now we see her on the little screen that can kind of bridge the gap a little bit. That's kind of what I'm hoping for tone wise. What kind of tone are you hoping for this show? Because I think tone has been Marvel's, maybe biggest enemy as far as these movies have gone.
I have a feeling it's going to be dramatic, as a dramatic tone, because Riri, as I saw on the trailer, doesn't really know what to do right now. She's not a member of any team like she was in the books. In the book, I remember she halfway founded the New Champions, which are kind of like a branch of the Young Avengers, same thing almost. So I'm hoping in this one it's a lot of drama with her family going on. Remember, she suffered a tragedy when she was younger. They'll probably mention that when her dad was killed. She doesn't have any friends because she's an introvert. We saw in Wakanda Forever, she didn't really have anybody around her. So we'll see. I think she's going to take a liking to the Hood because maybe she sees him as someone like her. So maybe
Yeah.
that would be her only friend. So we'll see some drama between them two and not just fighting. We'll see drama with her family. We'll see little heartache, little drama. I want to see her. I want to see some death in here. Is what I want to see.
All right, it's a little dark for a lot for Disney Plus. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I only remember. I forget the girl's name. I think she had one friend in the trailer, but I think that relationship with the Hood definitely has a sell us on why she's buying into this guy. Because clearly we
Mhm.
know it's gonna go software eventually. But I also love the fact of a character making mistakes. A lot of times when we build these characters up, the thing that gets us is a lot of them do make early mistakes. I mean, go back to Iron Man, Thor, and a lot of things in that kind of rebound is what we kind of latches us onto those characters. And we're like, all right, you actually seem human and you seem like somebody like that I can relate to. Definitely having a relatable character here and a character of color, which we don't have many of them, definitely can add. And I think that can do a little boast of bringing Marvel back with more relatable characters. Because, at this point, you look at Thunderbolts, they seem cool. I can't relate to none of them. Like
No.
I don't live that sort of life. This is a character like second maybe to the Spider Man or whoever else is still hanging around the MCU that we could be like, okay, this is somebody that I can see as a human and I can sort of agree with. So I'll move on to expectations overall. I thought the trailer was okay. I didn't think it was great or crazy,
Mm.
but it does kind of get me excited. I do love the graphics. Hopefully they don't cheap out. Continues to look good. I think the suit looks okay in the trailer. I'm interested to see what it looks like in the show, but I don't really care about really the end result of the suit. I want to have that cool Iron Man moments of her building the suit, putting it together, using her IQ, sort of things like that. And I think that'll be a cool part, maybe in the early half of the show, to kind of get us going and have us rely on this character. A little bit of comedy, not too much, a little bit of levity and drama, and I'll be sold here as far as a good show. And not too long. Don't give me 24 episodes. 6, 8, I'm good. Let's get in, let's get out, and let's see this
Mhm.
character in another movie or another show. I'm good there. So far, I would say the trailer is probably a low price of admission. It's going to get me to watch, get me a little bit excited, not too much, but that's kind of sort of my expectations overall for the show. You got any expectations before we get out
I
of
give mine a high price of
here?
admission just because I mean, obviously, I know the character.
Yeah,
I'm excited for him to move into the Secret Wars and the Doomsday aspect because the way they're building this up is a lot different than they built up the first phase, where we knew every movie after credits or during the movie we were getting a Thanos snippet and then we finally built up to him. And this one, which I don't mind, they're not building up to Doom, right? They're not seeing any snippets of any other villains. They're kind of
Yeah.
just doing movies because they should be. Because I mean, Marvel has like hundreds of characters. You're not always going to be building up everybody for one character. There's a whole bunch of villains in here, so I don't even care if they build her up just for a team because I think she should be on the team with Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop as well. It'd be cool to have an Iron Man like character. I also do disagree with you a little bit. I don't think she's going to be showing a lot of her smarts in the very first part of the episode. I think she's going to have to show it in the middle or the end of the series when the Hood, which I think she's going to be somebody she trusts, starts to do a whole bunch of not low level stuff, but he starts to escalate to high level stuff, and then
Yeah.
she'll have to use her vast, well, not even vast, her little bit of resources in Chicago because she doesn't have Wakanda's help to build a different suit. And I want to see what suit she builds. I hope she builds the suit that's with her current suit in comic books.
Yeah. One last question. Any reason you think Wakanda snatched her suit up? Was like, hey, you can't take that with you. Any reason why? Because I'm like, well, you sought her out. You know who she is. You kind of know that she's a good person to help you. Why don't you just leave her with the suit you gave her? I forgot to talk about that at the beginning,
I
but
have I have no guesses to
good
that.
reason.
I wouldn't think she fell out with him or anything. Maybe they just
No.
took it back because that was all their tech, and they
Yeah.
said it could be something profound. And they're like, "Hey, we think you're better than this suit. You can build your own with whatever you got." About maybe like an Iron Man Peter Parker moment where Iron Man was like, "What do you say?" He said, "If you need the
Exactly.
suit, then you're
Yeah.
not really the hero." To
Yeah.
Tom Holland, and they took the
Yeah.
suit away, and Tom Holland had to use it. Yes, maybe it's one of those things.
Maybe I just want. I'm like, there's more out there, but we'll see, man. We'll see. So that's Ironheart. You got any questions on it? Put it in the chat. Talk about it. Tell us what you thought of the trailer. I got Scotty here. Definitely, you can find him. I'll put the ads in the bottom, but we're pretty much Minor League Films at all places. Corona Comics on TikTok, but pretty much there. We'll be back to talk more. We got Superman trailer, other stuff coming out, so we'll definitely talk about that. But all that good stuff. Scotty, got any last words?
No, man, I'm just waiting for that show.
All right, then we will catch you next time.